Hello and welcome to the Under the Best podcast. I'm your host Merge, and I'm here with Clayton. What's up, Clayton?
Hi, you sound like you're like dying or something. Come on, pick
Me?
it up. Yeah,
Sorry. I'm a little
very.
tired. I'm a little tired. No,
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm
Stop
cool.
crying.
I'm chilling right now. But NBA season again. It's in full swing. It's great. Everyone is great, and basketball is fun and everything. All that kind of stuff. But
It's only not great unless you're the racist Albert Rear or whatever his name, however
man,
you say his name is.
hey, the NBA regular season was great. Off season, I mean, no, off season is great. Regular season sucked. You know how
He's a moron.
NFL has had a really good off season, obviously. But anyway, our main stuff we're gonna talk about the Lakers and go a little bit in depth about how they've been playing the past couple of games. But to start off, I want to talk about a couple of Eastern Conference people. To start off, let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis of the I guess the third place New York Knicks.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. The
It
East is
doesn't.
weird this year.
Yeah.
But Porzingis has been playing like an MVP, and the last 7 games he's had at least 29 points. And before today, he had 6 straight of 30, and tonight he had 29. But he had.
I don't know why we're talking about Porzingis though, because like he's not even the best player on that team.
Oh my god! Are you talking about the point guard Kawhi Leonard and Frank Ntilikina?
Yeah, man. No. I mean, honestly, like obviously, Kristaps he's been absolutely great.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even watched a full really game, but just from Twitter highlights and Jesus Christ, he's been doing everything for them.
He's full on back with the unicorn. The question is will he be able to keep it up?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That's always been the thing the past couple of years.
Never been able to do that.
He always started off really strong, but I haven't seen him come out this strong before, or anything close to it, really. Because
I mean, he does have Melo take the ball from him.
Yeah. I saw a stat that said his first 2 seasons he only had 3 30-point games, and just in the first 10 games he had 6.
Interesting.
Which is ridiculous.
Only 3 30-point games, but oh man, Twitter would have made you thought that he averaged 30 a game.
I know. I mean, he wasn't. I would still say, well, obviously, Cat was better than him first 2 seasons. I would still say, I think Devin Booker was better than him his first 2 seasons, and I think D'Angelo was too. But people won't really make you think that. But this season, obviously,
no, they'll never say that.
Obviously, he's been better than Cat this year. But he's been, like I said, an MVP candidate for dragging this Knicks team to 6-4 somehow. I mean, besides him, it's really just him, Frank, Tim Hardaway Jr. Sometimes Lance Thomas does some stuff. Sometimes, I guess Jarrett Jack does some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of their wins are against really bad teams in the Nets, the Suns, and the Pacers. The win against the Hornets is okay. Is Batum still out, isn't he?
Yeah, Batum's still out.
He's gonna be out for a while. And then they did beat the Nuggets before they got whooped by the Rockets, and then they of course have beaten the Cavs, who knows what's going on with them.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Cavs in a little bit, but it's been interesting, like looking at Kristaps and looking at him in the the rankings of the young big men in the NBA. And I was asking people this question today, but I'm gonna ask you this, Clayton, because I don't know if I saw you answer it, but if you're starting your franchise, rank these 4 big men. So it's Kristaps, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, and Nikola Jokic. If you're starting a team and this guy had to be your main guy or one of your main guys, who you gonna choose?
If you could guarantee me that Joel was healthy, then I think it's clearly Joel.
Yeah, that's.
But the thing is you can't guarantee me that at all. So then, man, you kind of still want to put him there. I think I have KP as number 4. Which is, of course, an unpopular opinion. Then I think I have Jokic, which is really unpopular with analytics Twitter.
Having him behind Cat and Joel?
Yeah, I think I have Cat as 1 and Joel at 2. Joel, if he was healthy, would be at 1, and Cat's really a difficult one just because like he's been so bad on defense.
Oh yeah, but he's been like ridiculous offensively. So I mean, it kind of balances out, but his defense has been weirdly bad. It's been I don't get it.
He looks even like afraid to be on defense at times. There was a thread. So there was a thread by one of the Timberwolves writers where it was just like he was shying away from contact and stuff. And I don't know if he had like any fouls at the moment, but it was just like, what the F are you doing, dude?
Yeah, and this is a guy that came into the league as a guy who was pretty much touted for the defense.
and that's the crazy thing to me. Like, yeah, at Kentucky, he was going to be like the next great defensive big. Yeah. And then like he had the potential to be great offensively. Well, now it's just completely flipped. He's great offensively, and he is terrible on defense.
Yeah, like he's one of the most like versatile offensive players in the league. I mean, he can do anything really. And he's their best shooter. He's able to go into post and have really good like post moves. He's able to finish at the rim and just like dunk on anyone really. But like you said, whenever someone is attacking him at the rim, he just shies away and he just goes away from any sort of contact. It's going to be interesting to see how he improves on it. I think he will still. I still think he will eventually, but it's just weird to see him be this bad defensively. I think
it really is. It really is. His per 100, the defensive rating per 100 is only 107, which isn't bad. It's not great, but it's not some of the worst I've ever seen. But his defensive box score plus minus is a negative 0.6. Mm-hmm. So he's bad on defense, obviously.
Yeah. I think it might have to do. I don't think Tibbs has been doing a great job with them.
Nope.
And
I mean, like Jimmy has been great in his role because now they just made Jimmy as kind of like just mainly like focuses on defense, and he kind of runs the offense, but he doesn't at the same time.
Yeah, right now it's Andrew Wiggins, which is kind of weird because he's like the worst offensively of the three.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, Andrew Wiggins is a very skilled offensive player, and he's been really improved this season on that end. But I mean, Jimmy and Cat might be top 15 players, both of them, And you wouldn't say
that high yet. But I mean, Cat's shooting is down this year from range. It's only 33%. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the numbers, he's making 0.1 3-point attempts less, and he's only attempting 0.1 attempt less as well. So like it's right there. It's not that big of a difference. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of hard to not take the big man who is 21 years old
in KP or Cat.
Cat. He will be he'll actually be 22 in about a week.
Okay.
But he's averaging almost 22 a game and 11 boards.
And right now the Timberwolves are number 3, I believe.
They're third in the West behind Golden State and Houston. He's shooting almost 90% from the free throw line, which is just stupid.
That's insane.
But like, I don't know. I think you can make an argument really for any of them. Mm-hmm. I could see an argument where Joel is number 4 just because you don't know about the injuries.
Yeah.
I know analytics Twitter would probably have Jokic first out of those guys, and really any of them could be at any of the positions, and it would be totally holy crap. I just saw a random block on Brandon Wright. Oh my word, that was just oh my word,
Gee, you haven't seen that block?
No, I just now was starting to watch it before we started this. So,
man, okay.
Sorry, it's running on in the background, and I just saw a flash just run across the screen. And Anyway, yeah. I mean, you really could have any of those guys anywhere. I just think like I go with Cat just because he's so freaking good on offense.
Yeah,
he's not the ball mover that Jokic is, because Cat is only averaging 1.1 assists per game, right? That's a little bit of an issue.
I don't think it's that big of a problem because I think maybe it's just early season type thing. Because I think he was decent last year, but maybe I'm
it's only about 2. It's only about 2 a game last year. And Jokic, I know he's at like 5 or 6 the last time I saw.
Oh yeah, he's been really good.
He's at 4. He's at 4.5. But the offense essentially runs through him. He gets a lot of like hockey assists too.
Yeah, so. Jokic is kind of like prime Pau Gasol to me. Like if Pau played in today's NBA, you know?
Yeah, that's just going to be the one like his defensive rating is only 103 and his offensive rating is the same. And his defensive box plus minus is 2.2. He's a much better defensive player right now. Jokic is a good team defender. Mm-hmm. He is obviously a very bad individual defender.
Yeah. You don't want him guarding the other 3 1-on-1 because the other 3 will completely toast him.
Yeah, but like a lot of times nowadays it's just about like scheming it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still think I just go with like the guy who I know is going to be able to get me a bucket.
Yeah,
and I think that he's just better than Jokic at that.
Yeah,
and again, I'm not going to talk about Joel because he's a guy that is a guy who's just ad nauseum, just tons and tons of discussion about him.
Yeah,
but yeah, oh well, whatever.
Yeah, if Porzingis was able to put up, not because these numbers he's been putting up are like unsustainable, obviously, but if he's able to put up something close to that and not completely fall off after the All-Star break, how would that change your assessment of those 4?
Honestly, not that much.
Able to show really?
Yeah, no. I mean, like if he's going to be putting up 30 points a game and whatnot, like that's obviously something that you love. My thing is he's a 5. He refuses to play the 5. He only wants to play the 4. And this may just be me. And you know what? I'm honestly fine saying that I could be wrong with that. I do not like players that are over about 7'1".
Yeah.
I know Embiid is like 7'2" now as well. But Kristaps is a legit, 7'3". And he plays fast like a wing.
Oh yeah, the way he lands, like him and Joel.
Yeah, there's just a lot of times where I just worry that he's just gonna do something. And again, like I have no idea if that's gonna happen, but it would worry me always in the back of my head.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been guys who have had feet problems at that tall. I mean, like Yao Ming is a prime example. I know he was 7'6", but he was just. I remember the series against the Lakers a little while ago, and that was pretty much his last good season that season. And he hurt it, and he was never the same after that series. But
yeah, yeah. Big guys, especially the way he plays, it would scare me. And like if he stays healthy, then maybe like I bump him up to 2. But I think there's a lot more highlight to him than. I know that sounds weird, but like he's defensive box plus minus is -1.
Oh wow, I wouldn't guess that, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, his defensive rating is only 106, but I mean, that's more of a team thing, I guess.
I mean, the way he's been like blocking shots, I would have thought he would have been like easily the best defender,
Yeah, I mean his block percentage is 6.4, so it's really high. I mean, you freaking hope that he could block shots. He's 7'3" with I think a 7'6" wingspan or something like that. So, you would hope that it'd be able to block shots. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really worry about big men. That's not where the league goes.
I would argue just because those 4 are modern day centers.
Yeah, I still am gonna say that I'd rather have like a guy like Giannis over all of those guys.
Oh well, yeah, Giannis is gonna be the best player in the league.
Yeah, I mean, it would really depend on if Joel's healthy. If Joel's healthy, then this whole entire conversation is just moot because he could. I mean, he's shown clear best player in the NBA potential.
Oh yeah, I mean, when he plays, the Sixers defense is completely different. Like it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, the drop off from Joel Embiid to Jahlil Okafor is like an NBA player playing defense versus like a kindergartner playing defense.
Yeah, Joel's an elite. Like he's probably up with the Gobert when it comes to defense when he's healthy.
Yeah.
You know,
his defense rating is 99.
Oh my god!
Oh my word! His defensive box plus minus. His offensive box plus minus is only 0.3, which is hilarious. But his defensive box plus minus is 4.1 already.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that guy's good.
8 games. Oh my word! He's just a monster. There's really nothing like he doesn't really. I mean, like
passing is the only thing I would say.
His passing is good, man. Like, did you not him and Ben, the two men?
Oh yeah, him and Ben.
Oh my word! Like. His offensive rebounding percentage this year is not great. It's only 5.8, but last year it was 8.5. So, and his defensive rebounding percentage this year is 32.9%. It's just absolutely nuts.
Man, him and Ben are going to be for years to come. I mean, hopefully Joel stays healthy, but
Nelson may watch this later and he'll say, "Oh, I told you." I still stand by my evaluation that Ben is going to be a great player. I still much rather have Ingram.
Man, I don't know about that now, but I'll keep quiet about that.
I mean, like as someone was saying yesterday, you got to think of Ingram's. Well, Ben was talking about it. Ben Rosales and Matt Belinsky, I think. They were talking about you can essentially just think of Ingram's year last year as a red shirt. Like that team was just crap.
Oh yeah.
Last year. So, I mean, like Ben is going to look good no matter what, but he was also already physically developed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he has potential to be a top 5 player in the NBA as well. So, yeah. Yeah,
the NBA has some really bright futures, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on, I wanted to talk about I wasn't talking about the Cavs, but I actually want to talk about the Bledsoe trade. Today, Eric Bledsoe was traded from the Suns to the Milwaukee Bucks for Greg Monroe, a protected first, and a protected second. It was really nothing. And Monroe's probably going to be bought out or traded by next week or something.
Yeah.
But they pretty much fleeced the Suns for a guy who could be a top 10 point guard. In my eyes, at least.
Only way I think that they could have made that deal any better is if instead of Monroe, they could have done Matthew Dellavedova. That would have been like the only way, because Dellavedova has as a contract that I really just don't like.
Yeah.
So like, and Monroe's expires after the season. So like that would be the only way you could have gotten any better.
Yeah.
That was just, or I guess maybe like John Henson, but still.
Oh my gosh, Nelson. Nelson, hi.
Nelson heard me talking smack, and then he's like, "I gotta hop on."
Yeah. All right, guys, look here. Ben Simmons. He
literally did it. That was
Ben Simmons. He's a really good basketball player, and I believe someone said that he was going to be better than Brandon Ingram, and to this day he is wrong, and I hope that he admits it and that he realizes his mistake.
He clearly didn't watch long enough.
I didn't watch long enough. I just heard you slander Ben Simmons, and then I just turned it off, and then I decided to hop on here because Ben Simmons might become the best player in the world.
I slandered Ben Simmons, yet I said he could be a top 5 NBA player.
Yeah, see, top 5 isn't good enough. That's the thing.
He's got to be what, top 3?
Top 1. He's gonna be the best player in the world. I think that is realistic at this point. Somehow, without a jump shot, he is putting up insane numbers. He is the point god that everyone.
Giannis says hi, but okay.
Giannis has nothing on Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has a good beard.
Giannis
has groomed himself well.
Has like 8 inches of wingspan on Ben Simmons, and much better defense. So,
yeah. Ben Simmons is playing better as a rookie.
Oh, come on. You think
okay,
Everyone
everyone knew. No one even know who Giannis was when he was drafted.
That's true.
And I think I'm gonna look this up. I'm pretty sure Giannis is only a few months older than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nelson just jumped in here when we were talking about Eric Bledsoe. You know what? Since you're here, Nelson, what do you think about the Eric Bledsoe trade?
I thought the Bucks got a point guard, and they really needed a point guard.
Yeah.
And I really hope that Giannis plays the 4 now, and somehow Jabari plays the 5, and that'll be a fun team.
Jabari's dead. What are you talking about?
Jabari has not been done anything.
Jabari's gonna come back to life. I believe in Jabari.
Jabari should. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait until they give him that max contract, and then I can just laugh my head off. It'll just be wonderful.
Yeah, I don't. That's gonna be super interesting to see what they do with Jabari. Because honestly,
Giannis has about 18 months on Simmons.
Oh man!
But Giannis was what, a top 10 player last year, maybe top 15.
Yeah, he was top 10.
So Ben Simmons is a top 10 player this year. So
oh man,
I'm just gonna. So
can I mute Nelson already?
Nelson already came back, and you want to mute him now?
Hi, Nelson. Bye, Nelson.
I just want the record to show that I was all in on Ben Simmons, and he is proving me right. So
yeah, he's been hashtag good
until he suffers another foot injury.
Until he doesn't. But
good.
I said Ben Simmons was a better prospect than Markelle Fultz, and I was outside of the room here.
Don Yates says that he's the best prospect outside of Kevin Durant in the last decade. So
Ben?
No, Don Yates.
Oh,
Philly. He's a Philly Twitter guy, friends with our buddy Cole.
Oh, got you. I think I might argue Cat, but I definitely wouldn't be against saying Ben is the best since that. Do you guys think this pushes the Bucks into that at least interconference final conversation now? Game Bledsoe? Clayton?
Sure, why not? I mean, he's better than Dellavedova. Mm-hmm. So I guess now they can move Brogdon to the 2, Middleton to the 3, Giannis at the 4, and then Thon at the 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, now you don't have to play Dellavedova as much.
That's true.
I mean, even though I think Brogdon was their starting point guard anyways.
Yeah, they ran Brogdon and Snell.
So now Snell is moved to the bench, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Dellavedova's always a bench guy, so that's okay. I mean, he's not great. Who else? I mean,
Teletovic, Sterling Brown.
Oh,
Jason Terry.
Sterling Brown, wonderful.
Yeah.
Jason Terry.
Played today, I don't know. Teletovic.
Yeah. Well, and then of course they'll be getting Nelson's boy back in a couple months. So
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, I really want to go bet against Giannis, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they kind of rhymed. But yeah, sure, why not? I mean, which is kind of funny because right now they're only 4-6.
Yeah.
They are behind. Right now they would be one. Oh my goodness! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots out of the playoffs right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, they've only played 10 games, but yeah,
I think Giannis really needs a guy who can consistently put up 18 or 19 a game, and Middleton's sort of been that, but he's not really the best ball handler in the world, and Bledsoe is definitely better than him in that aspect, handling the ball. And if I saw someone that said that Bledsoe was in the 80th percentile in pick and roll scoring, and having a pick and roll with him and Giannis together is going to be really interesting to watch, especially with a guy like Bledsoe who's insanely athletic, or at least he used to be insanely athletic. He's still pretty athletic now.
Middleton, 2 years ago, so not last year, but 2 years ago, when he kind of had his breakout, averaged 18 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, and the 29 games that he played, coming back from that torn hamstring.
Mhm.
It's 14.7. This year he's averaging 19. So I mean they pretty clearly have their number 2 guy. It's really finalizing that third guy. And I mean I'm that's probably Bledsoe. I mean, like, everyone was like, they couldn't even get Brogdon out of it. Like, I wouldn't have given up Brogdon. I'm not even a huge fan of Brogdon, and I wouldn't have given up Malcolm Brogdon for him. Am I wrong in that?
I think, well, especially with the way his value was after all the "I don't want to be here" tweet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I think
value is crap.
you wanted to get
Brogdon shooting 45.7% from 3 on 4.4 attempts per game.
he's been a sniper for them.
Yeah, he's scoring 15 points a game.
I know there are a lot of people that were like, you don't want to trade Brogdon for, or people were saying you should trade Brogdon because Bledsoe is a all-star type-ish guy, and Brogdon's just a six-man guy type of stuff like that. And I mean, if you don't have to get rid of Brogdon and you also get Bledsoe, I mean, wouldn't that be best case? I mean,
yeah. I think they did the smart thing. I mean, if Bledsoe can average, last year in 66 games, he averaged 21.1 points, and 2 years ago it was 20.4. If he can come in and score 18 to 20 as well, I mean, that's great. I'm always super cautious about him. I never saw his value as insane anyways because of that injury history of his. He's never played a full season. He's had 81 games, 76, and then 81 his rookie year, but he's never had a full year. So he's always
been a guy that I feel like if he was on a good team and he was one of the main guys, I feel like he would ball out. So I guess I'm getting what I want now, and we'll just see how he goes.
Yeah.
Nelson,
my question is the shooting. He's only 33.4% 3-point shooter. There's been a couple of times where it's average or above average, but he's not a very good shooter. So I guess you're going to have to hope that Middleton and
Brogdon
just continue to be lights out.
Yeah. Nelson, do you think they have a chance to compete with the Cavs and the Celtics right now? Adding Bledsoe.
Since the Cavs look pretty crappy right now, I think a lot of teams have a chance to compete with the Cavs, honestly. I think, LeBron's still going to be LeBron, but I don't know if he has 50-point games every night in him, in the playoff series. Is he going to average 50 in the first round and then in the second round too? I just don't know, because that's what they're going to need to do because the Cavs suck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to jump in, but you also got to remember, if he comes back healthy, Isaiah Thomas was good last year.
Oh, yeah. No,
I like to make fun of him because he's tiny, and I still have no regrets about never going after him for the Lakers. But he would very clearly be a huge upgrade for them, and he carried that Boston team last year.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be huge for LeBron. And when's he coming back? I have no idea.
I've heard December or January. Those are the 2 months I've heard.
Yeah, hips are tricky. So he could be out another month or two. So, honestly, I wouldn't worry about it if I'm Cleveland. I think they'll just middle around for a while, and then all of a sudden they'll just be a 3 or a 4 seed, and holy crap, how did they do that? And and storm through the playoffs again. Sorry, Nelson.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I just think that their main issue is defense, and Isaiah Thomas is not going to change their defensive fortunes.
Oh, yeah.
But they're also bottom 10 in offense efficiency too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Isaiah Thomas is going to help a lot because he's an insane upgrade over Derrick Rose, who's still bad. Shocker.
Don't tell Derrick Rose fans.
Yeah, you can't tell Derrick Rose fans. But I mean, I just think that the Cavs are weaker than they were last year, and I think that the Bucks last year would have given the Cavs a pretty good run for their money. And with Eric Bledsoe there, I think that only strengthens their case. To a degree, I don't know. I still think that the Celtics are better just because they have better wings and they have Kyrie Irving
and a better coach.
Yeah, and a better coach, and they have the second best player. Yeah, second best player. Easily second best player. If you combine the two teams, I mean, Giannis is better just because of his insane value that he provides on both sides of the court. But Kyrie is insane, and if he goes off like he does in the playoffs usually, I don't know if the Bucks are going to be able to compete with that. But I think the Bucks are up there. I don't know if they're going to make some serious noise, but they are in a position to make noise if the pieces fall into place, and if Jabari Parker comes back with some kind of efficiency and plays like he did before he was injured, I'd be looking at that team with a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah, they definitely have the people to hide Jabari on defense as well too. Which is good.
I didn't even talk about the Wizards. I think the Wizards. I think if Bradley Beal continues to just
Bradley Beal's my guy, man. I've been Clayton.
If Bradley Beal can stay healthy, if Bradley Beal can stay healthy,
that's the question.
If Bradley Beal can stay healthy,
paper mache.
Yeah, his ankles are like almost about to collapse. But if he can stay healthy, then I think the Wizards have a legit shot. And I think John Wall might get his revenge. So,
well,
I mean,
and then
hopefully they don't top
Otto Porter has turned into like the second coming of like I don't even know, like just a 6'9" guy that could just is this freaking sniper.
Oh, I know,
and he's pretty good defensively too. The thing is what are they gonna do for big man? Gortats is fine, but
Keith is gonna be an upgrade when he comes back, or if he is back already.
He came back. He did come back.
Well, and then hopefully Oubre can provide something there as well. But
my boy is I'll check. I'll check. He had been playing great, but then I think he got suspended for punching his own player in the back of the head. But
and he's probably gonna get suspended for his jacket he had on.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of interesting teams.
He's shooting 48 in 9 games. He's shooting 48% from 3. I love Kelly Oubre.
Kelly Oubre is a funny dude, man. He's attacking his own players. He's wearing FU jackets and spinning around so he makes sure everyone sees it. And he's a joy to watch. To be honest,
meant for LA.
He's meant for LA.
He is. Man. He if we'll get him, and then we can turn him into what everyone actually thought Nick Young was.
Oh man, that's not much. That's not much. Even when he was doing well, Nick, that still isn't much. Oh man. Anyway, let's move on to the Lakers, since the Lakers are actually kind of good now, which is a very welcome surprise. Obviously, the biggest thing has been their defense, which they're still 7th in defensive efficiency, which blows my mind every single time I look at it. And they've been playing a lot better since Kyle Kuzma has came into the lineup, ever since Larry got hurt. So, Nelson, I barely heard you talk about Kyle Kuzma for the past couple months. So, why don't you talk about Kuzma ever since he's joined the starting lineup and how he's helped?
So apparently Kuzma is going to be a future All-Star. So that's what I've been reading on Twitter. But no, from what I've seen, I'm kind of tired of saying that I was wrong about Kuzma, because I was wrong about Kuzma.
Oh, we were wrong about Kuzma.
Do I really need to keep saying it? Like, you can go back and watch the draft takes. I mean, honestly, I think Kuzma's going to be a really good player. I'm really excited for his future because he can just knock down threes and just make these crazy, insane shots that he's pretty much like a small forward moving a power forward's body, which is pretty cool. He has pretty tight control of a handle, or at least some kind of a handle, which is, Julius had that, but Kuzma's more in control. Yeah. I mean, like, Kuzma's like Ben Simmons, but not as good as Ben Simmons. And
He kind of looks like Ben Simmons, to be honest.
Yeah. And honestly, the way he moves, he's so in control of his body. It's not like Julius, where Julius just looks like he's on speed the entire time he's playing basketball, which is good and bad. Mostly bad for my eyes, but I know that he's playing better than my eyes seem to receive. Just because like every time he attacks, he's like doing like 50 movements at the same time, and it's just freaking crazy. And Kuzma's out here being smooth, and Ben Simmons is dunking over 5 Pistons really smoothly, which is really awesome. But really, I think Kuzma is going to be really good. I just think that he provides a lot of versatility on defense. I mean, he's not going to. I'm still. Yeah, don't play Kuzma at the 3, but at the 4, I'm really intrigued because of how he can switch for certain like periods of time, and also the range that he provides. Lonzo is key, and the chemistry is kind of cool. It kind of reminds you a lot of D'Angelo and Larry. They were pretty tight.
Yeah.
Not as tight as Lonzo and Kuzma, but still pretty tight. So yeah, I mean, Kuzma's good. I think he should be our starting power forward right now. As far as what his ceiling is, I don't know. Just because I don't know whether he can sustain this. I mean, he was definitely underdrafted, and no, we did not have to trade D'Angelo Russell to draft him. But as far as he does make the deal seem less terrible, just because he's a pretty high caliber draft prospect, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm never questioning the Lakers scout team ever again in my life.
They're the greatest in the league.
they can draft any player ever, and I would believe in them. They can draft, honestly, just anyone. They can draft Jared Bayless. Like somehow Jared Bayless goes back to college and he comes back, and I will still believe that Jared Bayless is going to be like a really good player somehow. Like old Jared Bayless is somehow going to be a good player. Like honestly, like pick like the 12th man on Syracuse and like because his Lakers draft him, then I mean he's gonna be like the next same coming to Tony Parker or something. But honestly, I think that Kyle Kuzma is really awesome and he's fun to watch, and he at least gives me that pleasure, and he has body control, something Julius Randle lacks and will continue to lack for the rest of his life.
Jeez, that turned into bashing Julius a little bit.
Oh, I mean, Julius has been awesome on switches. Like, come on, guys. Like, he's been
no. We'll talk about we'll talk about Julius, but Clayton, how do you think Kuzma helps out the starting lineup more than someone like Larry did?
Well, Kuzma's not afraid to shoot the ball for one. That's nice. I mean, he's not anywhere near as good on defense, but what he is going to do is he's going to provide that spacing. It is, I do have to say, from our last pod when I said that no one was shooting well, then all of a sudden Brook Lopez and Kyle Kuzma just become flamethrowers out of nowhere.
Yeah, especially Brook Lopez.
Well, and Brandon Ingram did too.
BI too, yeah.
I'm just like, maybe I should just continue to talk crap so then they'll just keep playing good. I don't know. But Kuzma, like when Nelson said, when I kind of said he was a former guard. In high school, he was a guard, and then all of a sudden he got a growth spurt. So that's kind of the thing you're looking nowadays in a 4 and a 5. And that's something, Brandon Ingram had it, or was the same thing. He was like 6'2", and then all of a sudden he was like 6'8". Mm-hmm. Kuzma, I think, was like 6'2", and then all of a sudden he was 6'7", and now he's 6'8", 6'9". Mm-hmm. These guys are 3-4s. I agree with Nelson. I still prefer Kuzma as the 4. It's very clear that his advantages come when he's at the 4. Mm-hmm. But having these guys with guard skills at those positions is just huge. And Kuzma, because he went to college at Utah, no one really saw that. And if you said that you saw that, you're freaking lying. You're a lying piece of crap if you're saying that you saw that. I don't care. I watched plenty of games from last year. There's no way. That's why I continue to say it was such a questionable pick. And now I've repeatedly said over and over again that I was wrong. But Yeah, I mean, back to the starting lineup. He provides spacing, and that's something that Lonzo needs as well. He needs just another guy to spread the floor, and because Kuzma can spread the floor, it allows Brook to go back inside. Brook is, even though he is now known as a stretch big, his bread and butter is still in the post. So now all it's doing is making him back to a more effective big. It's very clear. Ever since Kuzma got in started to the starting lineup, he's able to float around the perimeter, and Kuzma, cut. Kuzma's a really good cutter, but Brook now is able to go down to the post more and just handle whoever. So
it's funny that you say that, just because he's been a flamethrower from outside.
Yeah, he was 6-9 from 3, but I mean he's also just been finishing inside really well as well. Like the first 6-7 games, Brook looked awful.
Oh yeah, he looked really bad.
He looked so bad because they essentially just turned him into a pick and pop big, and that's all he was. And now he's looking back how he was with Brooklyn. He's got his 3-point shooting now up to 40%. It was
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was at 30%, I think, before.
It was in the 20s. I feel like. Yeah,
and now he's in just 3 games. He raised it that much. I mean, obviously, small sample size are going to be able to do more with that, but he's looking back to being his normal self. If you were to give him the extra 4 or 5 minutes that he was getting with Brooklyn all those years, you would probably see the same numbers. My only concern is that Brook and Kuzma aren't great rebounders.
Well, Kuzma's turned into a great rebounder since he went to the starting lineup. He has like 12 or 13 a game in 2 games.
You're right. But I wonder if that's just whatever. I'm wrong on that. Whatever. He has rebounded really well. He wasn't rebounding well, so I don't know. But yeah, the offense has taken off. It doesn't look stagnant anymore because people are willing to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
That's the old adage, like a good offense beats a great defense. He's really good on offense, and they're winning with him being in. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it to have a real impact on Lonzo. But if anyone's watched Pete or at Laker Film Room's breakdown of Lonzo's shooting, I do agree it's kind of difficult because of his funky release, but his footwork is, I think, what's the real issue.
Yeah.
That, and he's trying to overcompensate, which is hilarious because he was shooting Steph Curry range threes and at UCLA. So I don't even know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, I think the thing with Lonzo's shooting is I still think it's more of a confidence thing still, and it's footwork and stuff like that. I'm not really worried that he'll get it to at least league average. I'm worried that I'm more worried about his shooting around the rim more than anything, to be honest.
I think that's just going to come when he starts seeing bigger shots fall.
Yeah,
and he's just so averse to hitting or getting any contact.
Yeah.
He does not like getting touched at all. Like he is very let me run away. Like it's am I wrong with that?
No, you're not. He whenever he goes up, he always shies away from any sort of contact, and it turns that layup into something off the side of the backboard or the bottom of the rim or something like that.
I mean, he's not a string bean quite like Brandon is, but he's not exactly a strong guy either.
No. Lonzo's struggling. It's funny that he's been struggling when the Lakers have been playing probably some of their best basketball of the season so far, and I think that's more having to do with Kuzma coming in and Ingram looking really good and the bench balling out more than Lonzo. Lonzo doing bad, so they're doing well type of thing. I know some people are trying to make it seem like that, like when Lonzo doesn't play the Lakers are better or something like that. That's definitely not the case at all. I mean, he still has been passing the ball extremely well. He's been rebounding it well. His defense has been the biggest thing that has surprised me. I mean, there's numbers where he was like number 2 on the team in field goal percentage when shot against him, like behind Josh Hart.
I've seen the numbers. I'm gonna shy away from that one for a little bit.
I mean, he's looked better than what we expected.
He looked better than I thought, but yeah, some people thinking like he's some type of elite defender now.
He's
no.
not like Steph Curry. There were times where especially in that 73 win season, Steph Curry was borderline elite defender, just because of his hands and his ability to recognize plays and stuff like that. But people try to make that sort of analogy. I think Lonzo's been good. He still hasn't been great. I mean, there's been times where guys have gone around him pretty easily. I mean, the game against the Wizards, John Wall got past him a couple of times super easily, and I think teams are going to do that a lot more as the season goes on. But
can we talk about the fact that Lonzo can't make a layup? Because that's pretty scary.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Yeah,
because I just think that the fact that his body control has not improved whatsoever, because body control is not something that you can improve. People have tried doing it for years.
Not dramatically.
Yeah, right. Not dramatically. You can make adjustments here and there, and like small little things, but not to the. And his is like really bad. Like he really just can't flex or bend or do anything. He's like a stiff rod. And Justin Russo in an article about his lack of elevation, which I do think that combined with the lack of body control makes this a pretty big issue, just because I get it. He's a different kind of point guard. He's a pass first point guard. Yeah. But you still need to score. And you still need to keep defense honest. And when you get a chance to score layups, Steve Nash was a really good finisher. Just gonna put that out there.
Oh yeah.
So I think that if Lonzo's going to become a pass first point guard, he kind of stuff needs to be able to attack the basket and be able to finish layups, because that's pretty important.
Yeah, he currently is shooting field goal percentage by distance at 3 feet from the rim. He is now up to 40%.
Okay.
It was much lower.
Yeah, it was really bad.
From 3 to 10, it's at 16.7, and surprisingly,
mid-range has been decent.
10 to 16, 57%. That said, he's taken 10% of his shots from there.
Yeah.
So that's like a super small sample size. Actually, wait, no, it's 6%, not 10%. Yeah, it's kind of an issue. I mean, not kind of an issue. It is an issue. That, and then he over penetrates, and then he tries to finish over people, and he can't. And then he doesn't make the passes as Pete said on his video about him. He can't make a wide open three. It's like it.
His step back three
His
obviously
step back three is good. Maybe that's all he should do is just step back threes. I have no idea.
I mean, really, if he could, I don't see why not, honestly, because I mean, he did that in UCLA all the time, and he made them,
Yeah, but like this was why I said people needed to chill out on him coming into the league and becoming an elite shooter right off the bat. Because of, as Nelson brought up, the finishing at the rim, he's stiff. I said that he had issues with that, and they're continuing to show. It would be interesting if he added more of a mid-range, just because it'd be a weapon that he has.
Yeah.
I'm not on the train of like he needs to have a ton of that, but like, I mean, I guess you got to take what the defense gives you sometimes. And
yeah, I also think he really needs a floater game, like really bad. I think that's the biggest thing he really needs.
His floaters are ugly.
I hope he never shoots another floater in his life.
Well, no, I think it's his left-handed floaters that are really bad. The right-handed ones aren't terrible, but the left-handed ones are really, really bad.
And I really need to give Pete a lot of credit on that video.
Yeah, Pete did a really good job breaking it down.
Did a great job. The how he's a right-hander and he wants to finish with his left all the time.
The reverse left-hand layup is the weirdest thing with Lonzo.
I don't understand it. That, and he's another thing that Pete showed, like he's taken off way too far away from the rim. Like,
yeah.
It's a layup, dude. Like they don't move the free throw line back from college or high school. Like it's always right there. So I don't know. I think it's partly in his own head, partly it's just terrible as I watch him just sail a pass, thinking that Kuzma could apparently jump outside of the gym.
Well, Kuzma is not Ben Simmons in that aspect.
No.
Kuzma's athletic, but
he's pretty athletic. But yeah, he's not going to be pulling and he's not going to pull a Giannis, and apparently stretches his arms stretch like Space Jam.
Oh yeah. I think it's been good that the Lakers have been doing so well, because I know people have been bringing up that Lonzo hasn't been doing well. But it will be much worse if the Lakers were like 2-8, something like that, because it'd be like the biggest story in basketball that he's been really a huge bust and stuff like that.
Sorry, real quick. While he's been bad, and we kind of have gushed about Kuzma, I want to say I can't remember who it was. I think it was Andy Bailey. Showed a stat that Kuzma has in fact been better than Jason Tatum.
Yes, he has.
So yeah, take that. I mean, like Tatum is like 3 years younger.
Hey,
but I will happily take it. And Tatum is apparently shooting like 80% from corner three.
Oh yeah, he's been
what the F is that?
Like he's been really, really good shooting the ball.
I did
way better than I thought.
I never thought he'd be able to shoot threes like that. That's stupid. But yeah,
that Brad Stevens ball movement has done wonders for him. Honestly,
why didn't we see that coming? Why didn't we see that Duke was like really cramped, and all of a sudden he goes to a spacey offense, and all of a sudden
I thought he would be good. I didn't think he'd be shooting lights out from 3-pointer. I thought he'd be a decent 3-point shooter, not a elite 3-point shooter. You know,
I mean, I don't remember Jason Tatum making him shoot or attempting a freaking wide open 3-point attempt. All of them were pretty close.
That's true.
No one was creating space apart from Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard wasn't drawing double teams unless he was like really hot. So it was pretty much just Tatum going one-on-one, which I mean, it's probably his fault, but he was probably just hitting step back or catch and shoot with the hand in his face 3-pointers. Now Celtics that Kyrie's just drawing like three defenders each time he drives to the basket, and then Tatum's gonna be wide open for the corner three. So it honestly it makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kyrie, there's been so many in the past 3 games. There's just been these insane moves that he's been doing that I just can't wrap my head around how he's doing these sometimes. I mean, the one where it was like the ball was moving around, but he got the ball and then he went like behind his back and then between his legs and then kicked it out to Jason Tatum for a 3. I don't know how he got that move off. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And only Kyrie could do that. And then not even Steph could do that. Kyrie's the only guy I can see doing that. Man, he's just been really good, and leaving Cleveland just helped him with his overall game. Honestly, I think it was a really good decision for him to after that trade. Another player in the starting lineup that I want to talk about that seems to be not really talked about much, especially with Kuzma going off and Brook, is Brandon Ingram, and especially the game against Memphis. Did you watch it, Clayton? Did him take over in the second quarter?
Memphis? No, we were in the middle of talking while it was on TV, but. Right. He's shooting only on 1.8 attempts per game, but he's being efficient with it. 38, almost 30. It's 38.9, so essentially it's 39% from 3, which is just huge. Those mid-range, those deep mid-range shots that we all hate, he's starting to be able to get those from the wing. Deeper, behind the 3-point line. His free throw percentage is up from 62 to 68%. But yeah, he's looking so much better.
Yeah.
And Nelson had to go.
Yeah, I saw that. In that Memphis game, he had multiple, like there was in the second quarter, he had 5 straight drives where he either got fouled or he got an and one or he made it over Marc Gasol.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous how he was just getting it. And his giant ass arms.
Very, very much using his length. I mean, he was finishing around Gobert.
Yeah, he had like 4 insane finishes on Gobert. And this is when we watched in the preseason him attack Gobert and absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. So like it's great to see. You know, his progression just from let me go to game logs. There we go.
I mean, his first like 5 games. First like 2 or 3 were like really bad.
Yeah, his game against the Clippers obviously was very bad. The game against New Orleans wasn't good, and neither was Toronto. But since Toronto, he has only one game where he's shooting less than 50% from the field, and the one game that was below 50% was he was 5 for 11. So I mean, he wasn't that far off.
Yeah.
His threes, he's made 4 threes out of 7 attempts in the last 5 games. So I mean, not high volume, but it's getting there.
It's nice to see him making them for sure.
Yeah. The game against Brooklyn, he couldn't make a free throw. He couldn't even buy a free throw.
No.
But also against Brooklyn, he had 10 rebounds.
Oh man, no! The game against Brooklyn was the best defensive game I've ever seen him play. That block on DeMarre Carroll was insane.
Yeah, he
did the chase down, and then he blocked D'Angelo on a dunk.
Yeah, I remember that one. The game against Utah, everyone kind of looked bad in that one, even though, you know, especially at the end. But in the last 4
Shout
games,
out Donovan Mitchell.
He's plus 17, minus 6 against Portland.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a huge surprise because they lost by 3. So him being essentially a -3 really isn't a big deal to me. I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah, and they were a big reason why they went down by 18 as well. The bench brought him back.
Yeah. He was plus 17 against Brooklyn. Again, it's Brooklyn, but he was also plus 8 against Memphis. And he's playing heavy minutes. Ever since the Toronto game, 30, almost 34, over 32, over 35 and a half, and over 38. He's playing heavy minutes, and he's not sinking.
Yeah.
So he's looking stronger. He's making better decisions. It's as again, I know we like to say him and Ben and Pete and everyone a lot, but Ben was saying like if this growth continues at this rate, you know, like that's something to very much be excited about.
Yeah, he's essentially the player that I was excited for when we drafted him right now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He's back
the
to
advanced
that.
Numbers are hilariously bad for some reason. But I mean, he just watching him, he looks. I think also because those first 5 games, he was so bad.
Yeah, the starting unit was not good the first 5 or 6.
So I would not be surprised if the next 10 games you see his advanced numbers take a huge jump.
Yeah,
he's a positive in the defensive box plus minus. The offensive rating is only 97. The defense rating is only 103. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
The offensive rating, again, the starting lineup was crap the first 5 games. Now everyone's on fire. I would wish I could remember what it was before, and I don't know if I can actually like take games. I'm not that good with I'm not that good with Basketball Reference.
Yeah.
Someone would have to look that up besides me. But I bet his advanced numbers the last 5 games or so are so much better than what they initially were.
Yeah, he's looked like a completely different player. I mean, just the confidence, the decisions, the passing he's made. I mean, I've always thought he was a above average passer, and he's a skilled passer, and he's able to make really nice passes. he never really showed it much in his first year, but he's been showing some really nice pick and roll ball handling and pick and roll passing. I mean, that's a big thing. I know at least the front office is like really wants to see him thrive at that. Which I mean, I think if he didn't, it would have been maybe a reason they might trade him. Just because he isn't able to handle it as much. I love the shooting. The mid-range jumpers have been going down.
When he gets stronger, it's gonna start backing up as well.
For sure.
His motion already looks better too. It doesn't have that slingshot. It's looking much better. And yeah, he's finishing through contact. It's exciting to watch him finally getting there.
Yeah, he's that guy that we saw.
When people during preseason were just freaking out about him.
Oh yeah, that's funny. It's funny now. I mean,
I want to give you real quick. At the rim, so field goal percentage by distance at 0 feet to 3 feet, he is shooting 64%.
What? How much percent of his offense is it?
Almost 40% of his offense.
Wow! Oh my God, I had no idea about that.
His true shooting percentage now is up to over 52%. Which last year it was only at 47.4. So like I said earlier, you kind of just got to look at last year as like a redshirt year. It was a bad year, for everyone. Spacing was crap. They were asking him to do, like at the beginning of this year, they were asking him to do things that he just really wasn't meant to do, like
they were asking him to be like the guy.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, they were asking him to be a 20-point scorer. That's not Brandon right now.
No, not right now. Like, he's a secondary creator.
I mean, like, I do think that he could potentially get there one day, but right now, no, he's not. He is not the lead scorer.
I mean, I think 15. I think what he's doing right now is perfect. Honestly, I mean, almost 15 a game, and
for a second year player, and he just turned 20 back in August, late August, or no, September. It was September 2nd. Like he's only, I think, a month or two older than Lonzo.
That's crazy. Yeah, he is only a couple months older than Lonzo. Which is, I mean, how the guy that's only 20 still, and he's looking like this. I mean, I still think he is
55 days older than Lonzo. That's it. He's only 55 days older than Lonzo.
I still think he's our best prospect, and I thought this even when we drafted Lonzo, even before I saw any of this.
Yeah, I still say that too. But
one of the biggest reasons we've been in pretty much almost every game has been our bench, 100%. I want to talk about, first off, Julius, and man, he looks like night and day better. At least on defense, he looks like awesome on defense, especially with his rim protection and his switching. I mean, like, you were going crazy with that block he had on Brandon Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a couple of those this year where he just comes out of nowhere and just pins the ball.
Yeah, he's been so much better this year. Let me look up his stats real quick. He still looks a lot like the guy that he's been throughout his career.
Yeah.
But he's shooting, his true shooting percentage this year is 63.4%.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So his PER this year is 19.7. That's kind of PER is whatever. It's funny, everyone hated Julius, and he had a 16.3 PER, and his defensive box plus minus last year was 0.7, so he was actually a positive on defense.
Oh wow. I had no idea.
But this year, in 10 games, he has a defense box plus minus of 2.6.
Yeah.
So he looks much better. The offense, even though he's finishing better, is still an issue. His turnover percentage is really high, and his usage, and because on the second unit his usage is high. But if you can't say that if you can't honestly say that he looks better, then you're full of crap.
Yeah.
His field goal percentage from 0 to 3 feet is 86%.
He's shooting 86% around the rim.
Around the rim, 86%. According to Basketball Reference, 0 to 3 feet, 86%, and that would account for 58% of his offense.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he's not shooting from 3 well. Obviously, he's only, I think, attempted like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And he's made like, then I guess it would have been 6 that he's taken, and he's made, I think, 1. So, I
remember the one he made too.
They made him a full-time center, pretty much.
He's pretty much center at this point.
He has played 89% of his time at the 5, and he's looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't think you can deny it. From 3 feet to 10 feet, it's only 30%. From 10 to 16, it's 50%. So that mid-range, that short, not deep mid-range is working for him.
Yeah, he has that nice little step back that he does sometimes.
Yeah, around the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, he's good there, People want him to stretch the floor, like go to like a deep mid-range or a 3-point, the short corner, but it's, if he's finishing 86% at the rim, then I guess I should look at NBA.com and actually look at a shot chart, instead of just using that off of Basketball Reference. But that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, he was good. He was good around the rim last year, but 86% is like another level. And I do kind of recognize like he's been better around the rim as well, because he's finished through some tough contact this year, and making some insane left-handed like reverse layups, and I don't know how he does it sometimes, but it's nice. And again, the biggest thing for me has been his switching and his rim protection. And I know people say it sometimes, like, oh, when they play a team like Memphis or Detroit,
his block rate is 4.4% now.
Man,
that's pretty high. Let me look up. Like, Whiteside likes to block a lot of shots. So let me just kind of base it off of Whiteside. Whiteside, I know, is block numbers were stupid.
I think Kevin Durant actually has better block numbers than him this season, which is weird. But
block percentage, like Hassan Whiteside, you think of as a big time shot blocker.
Yeah,
right? He only has a 3.5% block rate this year.
Man, I know I heard that KD has been better protecting the rim this year than Whiteside, and not because Whiteside's been bad, but because Kevin Durant.
No, Durant had a game, I think, where he had 5 blocks.
Yeah, I remember there was a game against the Pelicans, and there was a play where his shoe fell off, and he blocked like 3 shots in one possession.
He's at 5.5% right now.
Yeah,
Durant looks like a total monster, and people are just.
Oh man,
I don't know, like, if it's just because like Giannis is taking another step.
Yeah.
If they're just choosing to ignore him, or kind of like like LeBron winning MVPs, just like voter fatigue. If just people are kind of just like, oh, it's the Warriors, they're great, no duh. But Durant has, like, I've seen several writers, and not just Golden State writers, say like he's played like legitimate defensive player of the year.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure his defensive rating is better than Draymond right now, who was last year's defensive player of the year. But going back to Randall, it just, he needs more minutes. First of all, he needs more minutes. 18 is not going to cut it, unless you're trading him soon. But he needs to play 25 plus if he's going to be a for real piece. He needs. I
still say he's traded, or he's let go.
I'm starting to think more that he's going to stay, but that's just me. The second player, Jordan Clarkson has been really good too off the bench. He's been a lot better than I was expecting him to be. His defense has improved. He's been really good on switches against big men. His shooting's been really good. He passed the ball better this year. He's making those mid-range jumpers. He's been really good in isolation, like he always is. But I'm pleased with him, and I'm not mad when I watch him play anymore.
So, sorry, Julius on the shot chart, it says, which there's the NBA.com's is kind of different.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have at the rim, but then they have extending out a little bit to, I would say, about like 7-8 feet or whatever, which Julius is not doing the best from 3 to 10. Let me look it up. I think it was only like 25%.
On Basketball Reference, he said he was like 30 from 3 to 10.
Yeah, okay, there it is, 36.8%. But NBA.com and that about 8, maybe 10-foot range. He's overall 41 out of 54 for a 75.9%. So he's killing it right now.
Yeah, wow, man.
So.
Having him off the bench has been a real boost. But like I said, he needs to play more minutes.
More minutes, yeah.
Clarkson has been awesome off the bench for us. There's been times where he's been like,
wait a second,
huh?
I would still trade Clarkson in a heartbeat.
Oh well, yeah. I think he's very replaceable, but he's been really good for us.
He has been. Really
there were points in games this season that he's been like our best offensive weapon. Yeah. And he's good at what he does, and he's been better at passing and making shots from the outside, which is really nice to see. And hopefully just even build up his value if we need to trade him, which I think we probably will if we want to get those two maxes. But
I mean, like, honestly, like, it's at the point where he kind of, even though his defense is just still atrocious, if you're gonna trade Clarkson away, you're gonna actually have to kind of get a legit piece.
Oh yeah, I think
his true shooting is at 59%, and his assist percentage is 27.7. That's the highest it's ever been in his career.
Yeah, you can argue. I mean, I think the only person that's ahead of him right now in scoring off the bench is Tyreke Evans, who's been really good this year.
He's showing legit 6th man of the year stuff. You could say like he takes over a bit too much, but it's the numbers are there. He's starting to pass it better. I mean, a lot of it's just simple reads.
Well, I mean, that's all I asked, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, from a backup point guard / shooting guard, that's really all I'm going to ask. Yeah, he's playing 48% of his minutes at the 1 and 52% of his minutes at the 2. So
no more Ennis and JC backcourt.
Just leave Ennis at his condo. Like, never. Don't even let him in.
Two more players that I know we like. Really quick, we're gonna go fast. Josh Hart's been great for us. He's been really good defensively. He hasn't really scored very well past few games, but he's been awesome on defense. I think right now he's number 1 on the team in the defensive or field goal percentage when shot against him.
Yeah, I very much like Hart.
Yes, I do.
I like him a lot.
And last but not least, free Thomas Bryant. That's all I want to say.
Free Thomas Bryant.
And
I literally would not let Bogut ever get off the bench, and I would any minute that Julius isn't playing at the 5 or Brooke isn't playing, then Bryant should. I mean, he's gonna just do a ton of time in the G League, but then that kind of like that leaves you in a funny position now because with Julius as a full-time 5, what are you going to do with Zubats and Bryant?
Maybe one of them becomes our 5 next year.
Yeah, I mean,
and my money's on Thomas if it's either one of them.
Yeah, because
go watch Thomas Bryant's
his
G League
stuff. Oh yeah, he looked very fun. Showing energy, using his length. Yeah. I think that the Lakers have found another piece in him.
That's just ridiculous. Really
I mean, like I brought him up before the draft. You guys said I was ridiculous because of his time at Indiana, and he looks. I mean, like if he gets minutes, or just let him play like crazy down in the G League, and just let him just get some seasoning underneath him, and then at the deadline, if you're not in the playoffs, which I doubt it. I mean, you should start to look to move guys.
I think, but by the deadline, I hope that we're not eliminated yet. Obviously, but
well, I mean, you hope not, but I mean, I still I don't see it, but whatever.
All right. The final thing I want to talk about is Luol Deng. Yesterday there was it yesterday or the day before?
2 days ago.
2 days ago that he came out that he wanted to be traded because he's not getting playing time. Obviously, he's not playing because he doesn't really fit the system at all. So, first question is: do you see him getting traded?
No.
Okay.
Just flat out, full stop. No, because he's just.
If he doesn't get traded, then eat the rest of the season.
It's 18 million that he's owed for the next 3 years, each year. So he's not going anywhere.
At least this,
if you're thinking that LA's gonna be able to move him for like a future first and don't do Clarkson in that same deal, because then that's $30 million that you're gonna have to try and match up.
Mm-hmm.
For expirings, or at least close to expirings that you can break up in different creative ways.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think they're going to take some crap platter of like a 2020 first or a 2021 first and Zubats and I think they have the Denver pick this year in the second round, and I mean, Randall, you could say would be a legit piece, but then that team is going to have to want to be signing him in the offseason.
Yeah, that's even tougher sell.
Yeah, because he's becoming a restricted free agent. So, yeah, really the only ways I see that them possibly able to move him is like Alonzo or Ingram or Kuzma being involved, and you don't want to. That would just be so stupid.
You don't want to do it again like you did.
Do that one time, and people are already like, this is stupid. Yeah, I understand why they did it. I didn't agree with it, obviously.
I still don't think we're players in free agency. But
yeah, I mean, you're to unload Deng, you're gonna have to attach a premium asset, and there are 3 premium assets. And no one wants to trade him. I mean, unless you're not a fan of young guys, and we should go for Boogie. Shout out to some weirdo on Twitter. Let's trade for Boogie, even though there's no way that they're going to trade him this year. There's no way they do that. Oh my word, Lonzo, the air ball with 4.5 left. There's no way that one, New Orleans is going to do that, and 2, you should never trade he's not.
Didn't we learn from Dwight? I mean,
yeah,
and this is half of Dwight too.
Yeah, and then Brandon Ingram might look bad for another year still, but then what if he starts to blow up, and then now you have Lonzo and Kuzma, and that's fun, but then you have no one else.
Shout out to D'Angelo. Doing well in both of them. But if we can't trade him, then you gotta just wait out till this offseason and dump Randall with it. I mean, you're not gonna be able to really dump Randall, but try to dump someone with him or just stretch him at that point, because you don't want to eat. Because people are saying buyout, it still counts against the cap.
Yes, it does. It still counts against the cap. You can do a buyout. I don't know if you can do a buyout and then stretch it. I don't know if you can do that.
I mean,
that'd probably be a question for Cole, but like he would have to take a major discount for that, and he has no incentive to do that.
No, he wants to play somewhere else. I mean, obviously the best case scenario would be him retiring, but
yeah, I mean, like, really, the only other options that you have are trading him for another bad contract that's just shorter.
I honestly be fine with that.
But then, like, yeah, and that would be fine. But then you're still gonna have to attach like a Josh Hart and something else, you know. So, like, would you be willing to do like Luau Deng, who has another 2 years after this for, let's see, someone brought up
it's like 17.5 or 18 mil for the next 2 years.
Yeah, let's say Tyson Chandler. Let's see, where's the contract for him?
I believe Tyson is like 2, including this year, for like 16, something like that.
So is he next year as well?
Next year is his last year on the contract.
I'll look it up.
Man,
his contract runs through. It's essentially the same. It's 18. Well, I think it's a year shorter. Yeah, it's a year shorter. So, like, yeah, you could do that, and then like that it would be easier to waive $13.585 million compared to, you know, $36 million. But, you know, other teams have to agree to this too. You know, like you can't be just like, yeah, they'll take that. If the Lakers could have gotten him off the roster for just a poo-poo platter, as I said, then they would have already done it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
they're trying hard to dump him.
I love Josh Hart. I would deal him to get him completely off the books. But like, no other team's going to take on that much money for it. Took D'Angelo Russell, a former second-round pick, to get rid of Mozgov, who was actually a better player last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like,
you just don't want to just.
I would never say never, because we've seen so many bad deals. Many bad deals.
Let's just approach the Suns. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they got robbed. They got robbed today.
Yeah, they are.
Like, but the likelihood that he's moved is.
It's gonna be the offseason.
It's like 5%. You know, yeah. I mean, he's likely getting stretched, and they're just gonna have to eat that cash, and it's gonna suck because it's gonna be on the record or on the cap sheet for 5 years for $7.2 million or something like that a year.
And honestly, at that point, I feel like if they know that they're not going to get Braun and PG, you might
just keep them on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather
just have them eat a roster spot, and yeah, because like if you're not getting them, you're punting cap space anyways.
I pretty much what my thinking is for this team and how I want the Lakers to be built is keep everyone you have. If I want Julius to return, and then go out in this offseason, go out to get like a Noel or something like that, and then wait till like 2020 or 2021 until those big stars are available and your young guys are, you know, more mature and developed, and then you plop that star into that system and you have a star with surrounding players, you know?
Yeah. I honestly, if you're not getting a big free agent, Paul George, even if you're kind of just getting one, the only reason why you would stretch Deng, in my opinion, is if you're guaranteed that you're getting 2 guys, you know, and then that's I think you're stretching him and dumping Clarkson and Randall. But I just either he's getting stretched or he's just going to be on the roster until they can just make it the least amount possible.
Yeah.
You know, like just stretch him next off season, you know, where it's a year left. It's 18 million. They can do it over. It's a 2+1. So it'd be 3 years. So it'd be 6 million for that. And then you just, you know, like you're kind of just stuck with him unless you just attach a big thing, you know?
Yeah.
And because there's so many bad contracts out there. It's just
so little like cap space too for teams.
Yeah. So it's the cap space for other teams is good, but also bad because now you have the potential to sign your 2 max guys.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue then is you have to try and dump guys, and there's not a lot of cap space around the league.
Yeah.
So gotta be tough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't see that being able to get rid of him.
I would happily take on a guy like Wilson Chandler.
Yeah,
there was a few guys that I was talking about.
Terrence Ross, Nikola Mirotic.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Terrence Ross. I would take Mirotic, but he's got a clause in his contract that he has to okay it.
Honestly, I mean, with Terrence Ross, at least you're getting back a guy who you can plop in that Brewer role and be actually good and make threes and dunk and stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna let me look up Ross. I know Ross has not been good this year.
No, but he's still better than Brewer, and he's still young and athletic.
Yeah. And
especially with someone like Lonzo, able to lob him.
Yeah, he's only shooting 23% from 3 this year, but last year he shot a total of 36% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
You can live with that, His contract is he's a free agent after next season.
I mean, especially with their team pretty much flooded with 2 and 3. With Fournier and Jonathan Simmons and a wound.
I would happily trade Dang and like Zubats for Ross and my boy Hazonia.
Oh man, of course.
I'm gonna die on that hill until he gets actual playing time. He's never gonna get it because he apparently just makes everyone angry and whatever.
All right, I think that's pretty much it with the Lakers. Thanks for joining us again. We're gonna try to bring this more consistently, the best we can. I still want to talk about the draft. The draft season is approaching, and I'm very excited for the season. But also free LiAngelo Ball.
Oh yeah, well, if LeVar, good thing he didn't say anything. We may not see LiAngelo for a good long while.
Yeah, we might not see him until 2018.
Yeah. We might not see him till 2027, according to
10 years
Chinese laws. So.
Oh man, well, what a dumbass! Of course, they had to rob a Louis store. Whatever. All right, thanks for joining us.
You have a Ferrari, you idiot.
Yeah, you're loaded. Thanks for joining us. You can follow us at Under the Bus Pod. You can follow me at Merge Christian, and you can follow Clayton at Lakers 1949.
Great job.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and peace.
Bye.